I want you to imagine something. Think of our planet like it has a bank account, just one, filled with all the natural wealth we could ever possibly need. For, most of human history, we've just been making withdrawals. But what happens when we start taking out more than the account can handle? Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
So, to really get a handle on this whole planetary account idea, we first have to be crystal clear on what's actually in it. And honestly, the simple answer is, well, it's pretty much everything around you.
All right, let's make this personal right now. Just take a quick look at what you're wearing. I know, it might seem super simple, but it's actually a perfect way to see how deeply we're all connected to this natural account.
So if you're wearing a pair of jeans, for example, you're not just wearing fabric, you're wearing a whole collection of natural resources. The cloth itself, that's probably cotton, which is a plant. But a lot of jeans are blended with synthetic fibers for stretch, and those come from petroleum. That classic blue color, the dye is also a petroleum product. And that little zipper? Yep, that's made of metals like copper and zinc that had to be mined right out of the earth.
And that really gets to the heart of what a natural resource is. It's any valuable material that we get from nature, stuff that people can use. We don't invent these things, we find them and we gather them. It's the air we breathe, the water we drink, the soil that grows our food, and all the minerals that build our modern world.
Okay, so we know what's in the account, but now we have to talk about the rules, because this is not a bank account with overdraft protection. It has very specific and very, very strict limits.
You can basically think of our planetary account as being split in two. You've got renewable resources, which are kind of like your income, things like sunlight, wind, and trees. As long as you manage them well, they can be replenished. But then you have non-renewable resources. These are your savings. They exist in a fixed amount. Once you use them up, that's it. They're gone for millions of years, if they ever come back at all.
And just to make that super clear, here are some examples. On the renewable side, you've got things that are pretty much always available, like sunlight and wind. Fresh water and trees are also renewable if managed correctly. Then on the non-renewable side, you've got the big ones, fossil fuels like oil and coal, plus all the metals and minerals like diamonds that took ages to form.
But here's the catch, and this is a huge one. This is where our account starts to get into real trouble. Even the income part, the renewable stuff, isn't infinite. A resource like fresh water can absolutely become scarce if we use it way faster than nature can refill it, or if we just pollute the source.
And that critical detail, this constant overuse of both our savings and our income, brings us to a really dramatic turning point. This is the moment we have to stop talking about stress or crisis and start using a much more serious word, bankruptcy.
And hey, that's not just me being dramatic. A recent United Nations University report was incredibly blunt about it. They said, and I'm quoting here, that many of the world's most critical water systems are, in fact, already bankrupt.
And the word choice here is so important. See, bankruptcy isn't just a scarier synonym for crisis. A crisis is something you can hopefully recover from. But bankruptcy, that's a permanent new reality. It means you've lost capital, in this case, water, that you simply cannot get back.
The numbers that prove this are, honestly, they're staggering. Let's look at our planet's groundwater, that savings account. 70%, 70, of the world's major aquifers are in long-term decline. We're draining these underground reservoirs way, way faster than they could ever hope to refill. And this isn't just happening underground where we can't see it. It's on the surface, too. 50%, half of the world's large lakes have lost a significant amount of water since the early 1990s. I mean, think about that. In just a few decades, half of our planet's biggest lakes are physically shrinking.
And this has direct physical consequences for us. When you pump out that much groundwater, the land on top of it can literally sink. Right now, 2 billion people are living on ground that is actively sinking because of this.
And ultimately, it all adds up to a massive human cost. A staggering 4 billion people, that's about half the entire planet, now face severe water scarcity for at least 1 month out of every single year. So you see, these numbers aren't just abstract statistics for a report. This is about our ability to grow food. It's about keeping our society stable. It's about the fundamental health of the ecosystems that we all depend on for survival.
So, if the account is officially overdrawn, what on earth do we do now? We can't just keep making withdrawals like nothing's wrong. The entire focus has to shift to managing what we have left.
This isn't a new idea. Over a century ago, U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt put it perfectly. He saw that taking care of our natural resources isn't just one issue on a long list. It's the foundational problem. If we don't solve it, nothing else really matters.
So how do we actually do that? Well, the core ideas are probably familiar, but they're more important than ever. We're talking about reducing what we use, reusing things instead of throwing them away, recycling materials into new products, and actively protecting our natural environments to prevent more loss. This is the playbook for managing what's left.
And this isn't just a set of nice ideas. It's a whole formal discipline called natural resource management, and I really want you to pay attention to this definition. The goal isn't just about saving trees or water for their own sake. It's about managing them to improve quality of life, not just for us right now, but for every single generation that comes after us.
So where does this all leave us? What's the big takeaway here? Well, all of this, the overuse, the shocking data, the call for careful management, it forces us to accept a profound shift in how we see our relationship with the planet.
And this really is the bottom line. We have to stop thinking that we're just bouncing from one temporary crisis to the next. That's not what's happening. We have entered a permanent era of bankruptcy management, where the main goal is just to figure out how to live within our new, much more limited means.
And so that leaves us with one final, unavoidable question. The numbers are clear. The science is clear. Our planet's account is seriously overdrawn. The fundamental challenge for all of us right now is this: how in the world do we balance the books?